Here's what Wikipedia has to say. The Eastern Orthodox interpretation of the Trinity is that the Holy Spirit originates, that is, has his cause for existence or being, his manner of existence, from the Father alone as one God, one Father, and that the Filioque confuses this theology as it was defined at the councils of both Nicea and Constantinople. So let me just explain it again. Originally, the church said the Father is the source. He's the autodidache. He's the one that from which all things have their source. Yeshua the Son is begotten from the Father, even though he's uncreated. Nevertheless, he is begotten. This is language that's straight out of the Bible, right? The begotten. In a mysterious way, he's begotten. We don't understand how he can be uncreated and yet he is begotten. This is the language that the Bible gives us. So the Holy Spirit isn't given this phrase begotten. He's not begotten by the Father or begotten by the Son. But since God is the source, he's the fountainhead of all that is, then we can ask from whence comes the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit. Yes, he is eternally God, the Holy Spirit, just like Yeshua is eternally God, right? One God, yet three beings, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all eternally God as well. And yet, in the authoritative structure of what the Bible gives to us, Father sends the Son and Father sends the Holy Spirit. The Father is the source. He's the one that gets credit for being the autodidache, the origin, right? The unmoved mover, to borrow a philosophical term. So Wikipedia records the history this way: the position that having the creed say, quote, the Holy Spirit, which proceeds from the Father and the Son, those last three words, and the Son, that's where we get the Greek phrase Filioque, and the Son. So originally we had this Christian creed, right? Nicene Creed, Apostles' Creed, these types of creeds that were developed in early Christianity to define and mark out what Christians believe, right? A lot of work went into crafting in these creeds, putting the wording together, being very careful to describe what we believe as Christians. A lot of churches today still, quote the Apostles' Creed and things like that. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with memorizing and saying these creeds, because for the most part, they are accurate. They do accurately describe what Christians believe. They're a very kind of convenient way to list out what you believe. If you visit a lot of Christian websites and ministries and you ask them, what do you guys believe? It's not uncommon to find them quoting or listing either, the Nicene Creed, the Apostles' Creed, the Westminster Confession, or some other type of creedal formula to show this is what we believe. So you can see right away up front whether or not you want to join us as a religion, whether you espouse to what we espouse to, whether you want to go on down the road and follow some other religion, etc., some other denomination. So there's nothing inherently wrong with having a creed formulated to articulate what you believe. Indeed, the Bible doesn't have all of these creeds spelled out for us, so it's kind of convenient for the early church fathers to formulate these creeds. I think it's a bit of a service that they did for us, so I think that was pretty good work. But what we have, apparently, is that we had one creed that was crafted that simply said, the Holy Spirit which proceeds from the Father, period, end, full stop. And then we had another creed come along that added the Holy Spirit which proceeds from the Father and the Son. And it's those extra three words that cause this kind of this big debate. So